Rockets. All right, hello and welcome into Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon. That fellow over there is Dom, and you are the listener. It is Tuesday, November 5th, episode 57. Welcome in. Make sure you have liked, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify. Leave 5 stars on either platform. Share it with everyone. Share it with everyone. Share it with everyone. Share it with everyone. It's election day. It's a weird day here in our country. Hopefully, everyone listening to this did get out there and cast their vote if you're of age. Use your power, all that good stuff. Yeah. So lots of anxieties and such revolving around that for a lot of people I know. At least that's what it felt like at the workplace today. But how are you, Dom? How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know why? Because yesterday 30 NBA teams played, and I was able to
To take
watch.
election day off. A nice one.
Yeah. I was able to watch quite a bit yesterday, so that was pretty cool. And I played basketball this weekend, and
Sick.
I'm just I'm just enjoying the good things, you know? So I'm excited to be here talking with my friend about basketball and hoops and everything, and we'll get through anything together, and that's what
We,
matters.
we can do it. I believe in us. Yeah, I
Yes, I
listened
do.
back to the last episode. Man, after a little bit there, you cannot hear me with the ghost face mask on. I'm like,
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, oh God,
I
this
told
is
you.
terrible
I
podcasting.
t- Well, that's because it's more that yes, last time was a visual. This is
It
a
was a visual. It
visual.
was a visual, and it
Yes.
didn't last that long. If you're tuning in and you tuned out on the last one, I take the mask off pretty quickly. Okay, and it gets
Yeah,
back to normal programming. I did say
absolutely.
during that podcast that it was the worst podcast ever, like 5 times. Also,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Because of the ghost face thing or just
the
because
Ghostface thing, and then we spent like an hour just talking about nothing that
so
mattered.
many, I mean, so many
Like,
injuries and
yeah,
news, like people like that, yeah, are just kind of in and out of the league so
yeah. I
quickly.
left those people out. I saw some like minor contracts, and I was like, nah.
Yeah, I did too. You know what? You know what? Hey, more power to them. We're
We're
happy
turning a new
for them.
leaf, okay?
Yeah, but we're gonna talk about we're not just gonna focus on one team or two teams. We're gonna focus on everything that matters in the league.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are you wearing, by the way?
I'm wearing a Rockets hoodie. It's the city jersey from like
Oh,
last
I
year or
love
two
that
years
one.
ago.
I like that
Yeah, it's
one.
like the Letterman style, red sleeves, navy blue. Red, white, and blue. America election day. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, I like that. I
It's
like that.
topical. You know how we go. What about you? What do you got? What are you
I
donning?
got I got my Chicago Bulls shirt because it relates to our segment later that we're going to talk about.
You saw it in the
Not that
title.
you saw the title. Not that I'm going to be talking about the Bulls specifically, but it's the
Talk
only
about the
like really
Bulls.
East. It's like the only East team I have. I guess I do have a Sabonis Pacers jersey, but
Well,
I don't
guess
know
what?
where
The
it is.
Rockets are in the West, so
So it made perfect sense. We planned this because we plan ahead. Actually, I'm not going to lie. This podcast, I did the most research I've ever done, I think, for this show.
put
So
the legwork in.
I'm excited to talk about it. I say we just dive in, I'm ready, man. Ready to
Yeah.
talk
Last
about
thing
some
I'll do
stuff.
here, I'll shout out. The first thing I thought of was Lou Dort and Chet for 57.
Ooh, that's good.
The Thunder duo there.
I'm gonna go Troy Brown Jr. when he was on the Lakers.
Was he 7 or 5?
Yes, he was 7.
Okay.
And then 5, I'm gonna go Cam Reddish, current
Uh,
current Laker.
Laker
Yeah.
legends. Um,
Why are they the first ones I thought of? Well, because I'm a Lakers
because
fan.
of the Lakers. Yeah.
I didn't even say Gabe Vincent. He's number 7 right now. I said Troy Brown Jr. That's how much I miss him.
It's because Gabe Vincent has played less Laker basketball than Troy Brown Jr. in
Dude,
in 2 years.
I'm gonna talk about Gabe Vincent. I'm gonna talk about Gabe Vincent a little
Okay,
bit.
okay, okay. Let's
Don't
dive in.
worry. Let's dive in. So, CJ McCollum on the Pelicans suffered a right adductor strain and will be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So, Pelicans are on a little bit of a slip. Like they are not doing as well. Who would have thought Herb Jones at the 5 wouldn't work that well?
Speaking of Herb
Um,
Jones, he's also out for 2 to 4 weeks with a right shoulder strain.
you
So
know, it's
two
so
Pelican
funny.
injuries.
I didn't even see that. So I love that 1-2 punch. Yeah, so Pelicans have some tough weeks ahead of them.
Yeah, they're
Hopefully
struggling.
they get back sooner rather than later. I guess I'll do the next one too, since I
Go
heard
right ahead.
Jones. Yeah, so Aaron Gordon, who just signed like a team-friendly deal with the Nuggets, he's gonna miss multiple weeks due to a right calf strain. So
Tough.
he left the game yesterday against the Raptors in the first quarter and
Mhm.
didn't return. And then this came out today that he'll miss multiple weeks. And the Nuggets were still able to win, but it got pretty close. So,
Yeah, another team that's been struggling early on.
hmm
Um, Another West, keeping it in the West, Jeremy Sohan suffered a fractured left thumb and will have surgery sometime this week. When I was looking at this, I didn't see a timeline for his return, but fractured thumb surgery sounds like it'll probably be a while. I imagine at least a month or so.
yeah, and this next one was probably one of the saddest things we've seen because
It's
last
our fault
pod,
too.
if you listen, yeah, and my hot take was top three in MVP, and you said all top five
I
all
said All
NBA.
NBA first team, which is basically top five MVP. Yeah,
Yeah, so Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic has been diagnosed with a torn right oblique and is sidelined indefinitely. He'll be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. So this is right after he scored that had that 50-point game,
50
that
point game. Yeah,
monster game, and I guess his body just uh couldn't take it. So he's going to be out for a bit. He won't be able to be in talks for MVP because he will. There's that rule in the NBA. You have to play at least 65 games out of
65.
the
Yeah,
82. Yep. So he's definitely going to miss more than that. But more important than that, hopefully he comes back healthy and okay and not worse for wear.
the
But
Magic
yeah,
looked bad without him yesterday.
they sure did because I think over the offseason they basically made their whole offense around him.
Yeah,
Crazy.
they cannot score.
That's
Surprise.
been their thing, yeah, all the time. So it's unfortunate.
Last injury here, Isaiah Jackson tore his right Achilles tendon in a non-contact injury and is going to be out for the season. So tough blow for the Pacers. Good backup center for them. We already mentioned Wiseman a couple episodes ago. So who's next? I don't know.
And also I'm pretty sure Wiseman is out too.
I just said that.
Oh, okay, okay.
I
I
just
thought you
said
were saying
we
like he's
mentioned
next
Wiseman a
up.
couple episodes ago.
I thought just because he was on the Pacers. Okay, never mind. See, you got it.
Also being injured, I meant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, so who was their backup?
I don't know. They had Jalen Smith, but he's not there anymore. They
He's
had
not
Goga
there.
Batadze, who is not there
Batadze's
anymore.
on the Magic.
Um, they run an
Um,
Obi Toppin at center.
I get or Pascal when Turner's out. I mean, that's not
Yeah, they
great.
might have some small lineups.
Yeah, maybe they'll. Yeah, we'll see what they do, but
Yeah,
not
like
great.
Jarris Walker, Pascal, or something.
Yeah, the Pacers did get a good win yesterday. Out of all those, I watched Mavericks Pacers.
Yeah,
It got down to the wire, but the Pacers were able to keep them at bay. So, talk a little bit about them a little bit later, perhaps. Here's just some news real quick. Lonnie Walker the fourth, who
legend.
legend, was on the uh
Celtics.
Lakers, then Celtics on that 12-day or 10-day contract
Exhibit.
or Exhibit 10,
Yeah.
right? Then they let him go. Well, he signed with Žalgiris Kaunas, which is a Lithuanian basketball team in the Euro
Ba-dum-bum,
League.
ba-dum-bum.
And I'm gonna be in Lithuania 2 weeks from now, and I looked up if I could maybe see Žalgiris play when I'm there, and they're gonna be in, you guessed it, Greece for
Ah,
a tournament. So
dang.
I'm not gonna be able to.
That'd have been
Also,
seeing Lonnie Walker in
yeah,
Lithuania would have been
dude,
crazy.
that's dude. I love Joe the Lakers. I love it. Fourth quarter Lonnie, never forget. Well, also Kaunas is not where I would have been, but there are teams in Vilnius, the capital, that maybe they would. There's a chance they could have been there. They're not the home team in Vilnius where I'll be staying, but they won't be there. They're all going to be in Greece for some tournament. I don't know how
Dang.
EuroLeague works, but it's funny that he goes to a Lithuanian team. I don't know.
Yeah, he probably thought about you before making that
He
decision.
definitely did. He said, "What would Dom do?"
Yeah,
Zalgiris.
that's what I
Yep.
often think. WWDD. Um, Couple of rookies that got their team option declined upcoming. Marjon Beauchamp, his fourth year option with the Bucks, they declined it. So he'll be an unrestricted free agent this offseason. So he just hasn't played much there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know he had some like highlight dunks and whatnot, and that's basically all I've really seen of him. And also this guy, so the Lakers, they're declining the third-year option on Jalen Hood-Schifino's rookie contract, making him also an unrestricted free agent after the season. So, yeah, Jalen Hood-Schifino famously drafted before who Jaime Jaquez.
Jaime Jaquez, some other good ones in there.
Yeah. Oh, you sent me the graphic. I feel terrible. I
Let
should
me
have
look
looked.
it up really, really quickly.
Yeah, you totally got this. But yeah, I mean, I understand he's not getting any minutes with the Lakers. When he has played, he's just kind of he's. I think they tried to get him because he had scoring potential, but he's just kind of a little undersized and doesn't look like he's ready for the NBA.
It is crazy that they already declined his options so fast though. Like, this
Yeah,
is literally the start of his second year.
yeah,
So, like, they already gave up on him.
yeah. I think they're really just. I think they're very much in win now mode, and they're gonna free up that roster spot. But I don't know who they'll replace it with. Lonnie Walker would have been pretty cool. Just saying. I
Yeah,
would have liked him
Jalen.
in the Lakers.
It's rough. It's Jalen Hood-Schifino, and then the three picks after him are Jaime Jaquez Jr., Brandon Pajimski, Cam Whitmore. That's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah. Any of those guys would be great.
And then you have kind of a list of guys that haven't really had a chance to play much.
Mhm.
Um, Ben Shepherd for the Pacers down there at 26.
That would have been good. He's good.
Bryson Sabah. Yeah, there's not like a lot of guys that have played a lot after that. Going over to Beauchamp though, he hasn't had a ton of play either, but the people drafted after him really didn't play that much.
Yeah,
Most
I
notable
believe
name I
that.
see is Peyton Watson at 30.
Oh, gotcha.
Nikola Jovic, 27.
Not bad.
Nimhard at 31,
Okay.
notable.
So there's some.
Yeah,
There's
there's
some.
there's a couple guys here and there, but
Yeah.
most of the talent there was above him.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, so the Lakers are declining. We'll see what they what, the decision is further down the line. I'll talk about the Lakers a little bit later.
Oh, how about this? DJ Augustine announcing his retirement from the NBA. I feel like he hasn't played in like 2 seasons, so
Lakers legend. That's crazy.
Rockets legend too.
I know.
From Houston.
Oh, is he really? That's cool.
Yeah. My
Was
mom's
he
boyfriend built his pool. So,
Wait, are you serious?
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think he has his phone number and everything.
Yo, DJ, congrats on the NBA career and the retirement, dude. That'd be pretty sick. Okay, can we talk about something? Can we talk about something really funny?
We
Okay.
missed this last
I can't
episode. We
believe we
we
missed this.
forgot to put it in the notes.
We were too obsessed with random things that didn't really matter.
Yeah,
So Dwyane Wade got a statue in Miami. They announced that last into last season, and
right.
they unveiled it last week. And man, oh man,
Man, oh man.
it man. Okay, everyone who's listening to the pod, I want you to think of what Dwyane Wade looks like in your head. Okay, then
Or
look
if
up
you don't know what he looks like, just Google Dwayne Wade.
just Google Dwyane Wade. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then look at the statue and tell me who is that man, because that is not Dwyane Wade. And there's even you sent me this, like, I don't know if it's viral, but this clip of him like, wow, man, that's crazy. Who is that guy?
Who
And
is
it's
that
yeah,
guy?
it's supposed to be like, oh man, that's a statue of me. It's crazy, but and like it kind of seems like it's like, who is that? Like literally, who is the statue of? Man, um, your thoughts?
So I put two pictures in the graphic here, and one of them is kind of a full body. And I will say the statue itself, uh, the jersey, all that stuff, it looks pretty good. I think the pose is like a relatively, from what I understand, it's like a relatively iconic Dwayne Wade thing.
Yeah,
Um,
my house.
yeah,
When
he's
yeah.
screaming, he's pointing his fingers down. But if you just look at the face, I couldn't tell you. If you showed me a picture, just the face, I'd be like, who's that? I have no clue. I have no clue. And that's the issue with this pose ultimately, is that it's mid-screen. They tried to do a lot of wrinkles. They tried to do all this stuff, and ultimately the guy totally missed. I looked up the guy in his previous works, same guy that did the Kobe statue. Um,
Really?
yeah. And some other statues around.
Even after like the things that were wrong with that, they still got the same guy.
Well, I think the designer and they probably just have some people build it, right? Like in terms of carving in the stats and stuff, maybe that wasn't him, maybe that
Okay,
was, you know
okay,
what I mean?
okay. The stats for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll
But
tell you the
here
Kobe
here
statue looks like Kobe, at
here's
least.
here's what I think.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I'm gonna get real close to the microphone.
Okay. Tell me, whisper.
The statue looks really old. And honestly, without the jersey on it, it's like a slave statue. It's like celebrating the Emancipation Proclamation statue. That's what it looks like. It looks like hundreds of years old.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It
Like it
looks like
looks like
something
it's
made in
it's
the
from
18.
1800s. Yeah, like what am I looking at? It looks ancient. Like I don't how is it it doesn't look new, you know?
It really
It's
doesn't.
strange. It's I
It
don't understand.
also doesn't look like Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, I
That's what,
saw a lot of Lawrence Fishburne, which was
dude. I don't even
funny.
see Lawrence Fish.
I
Like,
don't really yeah, I
well, the
didn't see
first
that
thing
much
you
either.
you sent me his face before I saw the statue, and I thought it was an old man. It looks like it's supposed to be an old, like, because
Yeah,
it
the
looks like
wrinkles make him look very old.
the wrinkles, and then even the top of the head and the side, like, and like where the facial hair is gray. So it kind of looks like they're trying to go for like a graying older man
Yeah.
look. And man, doesn't look like Dwayne Wade. It just doesn't. And I really wish he could just be like, yo, that's not me. I don't know who you guys got, but that's
It
not
was
me.
tough.
Anyways, yeah,
I
everyone
looked into
if
some other bad statues. There's some other
yeah.
ones out there. The apparently AI's was pretty famous for being bad, but
Wasn't really small,
it's
right?
really small. It's
Hmm.
like the size of a toddler.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember hearing that.
but
Yeah.
I looked at like their arena and they have a bunch of statues that are all the same size. So all their statues are just really small.
Oh, at the Sixers?
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
strange.
It is interesting. The Lakers ones look pretty, the ones I've seen in person all look pretty good. Um, Rockets don't have any, right? No.
No, not somehow. Where's the
Okay,
Hakeem statue?
I was literally about to say they have to make they not have to. They pick one person to make a statue.
They
Who do
would.
you think?
He goes to games still. Like
No, I
I've seen
know.
him at games
Look,
multiple
I was
times.
gonna just set you up so you could go Hakeem
Oh,
Olajuwon, the
Hakeem.
dream.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
of course.
I was gonna go Dwight Howard, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I was thinking Gerald Green maybe.
I was thinking Shane Battier, Yao
Nene.
Ming, Yao Ming. Dude, a Trace McGrady stat would be sick. But
Yeah, dude.
dude,
Trace
I mean,
McGrady. Here's what they would have to do. They would have to build a Trace McGrady statue, cut it in three, and then ship it to like Toronto and
yeah.
Orlando and Houston. Like
Well, because
each you get a third.
it is like iconic. He has iconic moment. I still think the Rockets is the most iconic for sure this whole tenure. But you
Yeah.
know, it definitely had
It's
a
also like
good
when we
run.
were growing up though. We were like really young when he was in the other teams.
I know. But Rockets mean the most to me for sure. Oh, anyway, it's talking about retirements and stuff.
Okay.
You wanna? Okay, I can. Since I wrote
You
it, I'll
put
do
this.
it.
I was like,
Yeah. So we announced it earlier too, that so that the Raptors were gonna retire Vince Carter's jersey. So that happened earlier this week. After the Raptors actually won in overtime against the Kings, so it's pretty cool to see that he got to see a Raptors win. And also, just interesting note: the Lakers played the day before, and they actually stayed in Toronto to be there for the jersey
oh,
retirement.
that's cool.
And then the next day they flew to Detroit, and probably they should have just went to Detroit. And we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I don't want
That's
to talk
cool
about it right now.
that they went there.
Yeah, it is cool. And also the jersey retirement, like it's different than other
I
arenas.
saw
It
it
looks
has this
really cool.
pose on it and stuff, like
Yeah,
him dunking. That's super cool.
it's
I like that a
iconic. It's
lot.
different. Yeah, it's very cool. And the only one up
Although
there
the
right
banner
now.
is like huge, like it's maybe too big.
It
It's like
yeah, they might need to make it a little bit smaller, but it looks really
it's like
cool.
hanging so far down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like him like going in between the legs, right? It's pretty neat.
Hmm.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, also it's gonna be a callback to their city jerseys with the Raptor doing
Yeah,
that under the
yeah,
thing.
it's
Yeah.
like a muted version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other news from one. I almost said one Victor to another. His name's Vince Carter, not Victor Carter.
Yeah.
Wembanyama, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Wait, I wrote rebounds twice.
5
25
blocks.
points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 blocks. Thank you, and 5 steals to be the third player in NBA history to have multiple 5-by-5 games. He joins Hakeem, who we just talked about, and Andre Karolinko, of course,
Super random,
of the
but
Jazz, to be the
yeah.
only three players in NBA history at multiple 5-by-5s. course, Wemby's in his second season. I think him, Hakeem, and I want to say David Robertson. Robertson? I'm just
Robinson.
wrong. Robinson. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm tired. It's been a
You
long
sound
day.
like me.
Um,
That's
I was
funny.
like, I said it and I was like, that's wrong.
Yeah, that's not a
Um,
player. That's funny.
they are the only three people with the 5x5 wall scoring 25. So,
Wow. That's really cool. I mean,
yeah.
it is crazy that it's his second year and he's doing that. I even sent you a I was watching the Spurs yesterday against the Clippers and he had a stat. I was like you knew what it was before I even like told you the teams, but I was like, who would have the stat line 29 points, 9 blocks, and like 10 assists? And you're like, that sounds like a Wimby stat line. It's like, yeah, it was Wimby. He had nine
Yeah.
blocks. What the hell? That's
It's a big
crazy.
man.
Yeah, he's very tall. Just some like I saw this and I thought it was pretty cool. So like I wanted to
I
go over
wonder
like
why.
this.
Wonder why he thought it was cool.
I don't know what you're talking about. I would have done it regardless. But season leaders, there's not a lot I could be happy about. So let me have this, please. The season leaders in points per game through week two, leading the pack is Anthony Davis, number one, with 31.8 points. Giannis Antetokounmpo with 31 points. Both teams not doing great, but
The
it's fine.
Lakers are literally positive. Stop being so
Look,
dramatic.
look, look, look.
I'm
Third, we
looking.
have Jason Tatum with 30.3. Then your boy Mamelo.
My yellow,
My yellow
my
ball.
boy. I don't know about that, but
LaMelo Ball with 30.2 points, and then Nikola Jokic with 29.8. So
not in the 30 club. Loser.
and also Luca's not there, which usually he is like a
Yeah,
mainstay.
that's a good
But
point.
I just thought it was interesting. There's like four players averaging 30 plus points, which is pretty, and that's through week two, so might
Today's
go up,
NBA
probably go down. Yeah, it's cool. It's just cool to see, for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
I sent you this the other day, and then we talked about it a little bit, but Joel Embiid was being investigated by the NBA regarding an altercation in which he had with a reporter in the locker room after their loss to the Grizzlies. And basically, for the listener, if you don't know what this altercation was, I believe his name is Marcus Hayes, a columnist, wrote an article about Embiid, and in the article he mentions Embiid's deceased brother Arthur, who tragically died in a car accident in Embiid's rookie year. And then Embiid ended up naming his son Arthur as well after him. So the reporter mentions all that. Um, and he also says something along the lines of, you want to be great and you want to, do your brother's legacy proud and your son proud, but you're doing just the opposite because you are never properly conditioned and are injured and don't show up for games, but et cetera, et cetera. Um, and it really struck a nerve with Embiid, as I'm sure it would with most people. And Embiid, I think, had a public response of something like, "Yeah, you can talk about me and my play and my injuries, but like, don't talk about my son, my brother. Like, that's totally not okay." Which I would agree with. It's kind of for me, kind of along the lines of when people are heckling, when they're talking about like a player's family or something. It's like that's just like a weird boundary
Yeah.
that you shouldn't cross. But anyways, Embiid saw the reporter, and I guess they got into kind of like a shoving match, essentially, is what the reports say. Um, and it was reported today that he is being suspended for 3 games for this, and I think that takes place starting tomorrow. So if he's healthy, he'll be ready to go. I think November 12th, NBA Cup game against the Knicks, first game that he would be back. So. Yeah, just a weird thing. I'm kind of on Embiid's side for this. Obviously you don't want to react like that with the shoving of a media member it's a bad look, but given the circumstances, I can't blame him too much, I guess.
Yeah, no, I totally I agree with you. And I mean, I think suspending is I think I find the suspensions kind of comical too because he wasn't going to play the next 3 games anyways. Like
Yeah, it was
I was
it
wondering
was
when I saw
interesting.
that I was like, so 3 games when he's able to come back,
Right,
or it's like me starting now is like, okay, he wasn't going to do it anyways.
right.
Um, yeah, it's super interesting. That's a question I feel like, you're asked that, you say, I'm not going to answer that, and you move on. But,
Mm,
not everyone, I don't know if I'm in the same mindset, I might be, get really angry too. That's my brother who passed away before his time, and my son who's, it's not right to bring that up not even for the media, and he was already writing stuff about it too, which is already weird.
Yeah.
Just to be kind of like, I don't know if he's just trying to get like people to like read it and look at it, but you know, you can talk enough about Embiid not playing. You don't have to bring up the family stuff. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, um, it's a justified reaction, but it should not have happened, type thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So Embiid won't play for 3 games, which he wasn't gonna anyways, probably. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then last, just kind of like overall league news. So Greg Popovich, esteemed coach of the San Antonio Spurs, been there for like 70 years, feels like. Unfortunately, he suffered he has a health issue. He's going has something to work
Undisclosed.
through, undisclosed. So no one really knows. So he is not going to be coaching the Spurs right now. Right now, assistant Mitch Johnson is expected to be the interim head coach indefinitely. We wish Greg Popovich to get well soon. I mean, he's one of the best, what could be regarded as the greatest coach of all time. And
Right.
just hope whatever he's going through, he gets through it and he's healthy and able to join the sideline sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I saw another report about it today, and it just said basically that there is some increased worry about the
Oh,
situation. So yeah, hopefully he's okay, but
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah.
We will see. Going
All right,
from one Southwest team to another. So I'm talking
let's
about
do
my,
it.
my Houston H-Town Rockets. We are 4-3. So last time we were on the spot a week ago, we were 2-2. So 2-1 since then. We'll take that. On Halloween, we actually beat the Mavs by 6, despite a 57 combined points from Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. So that's good. Kind of a team effort for us. A lot of guys in the double digits in that one. Nobody really standout performance. I didn't watch the game, of course. It was Halloween. I was doing things. But happy that we got a win over a Mavericks team that I hold in pretty high regard. Following that up, we did lose to the Warriors without Stephen Curry, which is pretty sad. Lost by 6 in overtime, so a pretty close game. Uh, what I called the Tari Eason legacy game because he was on one, and I love Tari Eason. I got Tari Eason shirt jersey. That's how much I like that guy. But he had 27 points, 9 rebounds off the bench, and of course, as always, hustling, playing great defense, etc., as Tari Eason does. But Buddy Hield for the Warriors, 27 points and 7 rebounds off of their bench. Probably a good six-man of the year candidate so far. He's had a pretty solid year for them.
Buddy Hield.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially when Steph had to sit out. He's back, but when he did, especially, it was
yeah.
on a tear.
Um, and I didn't watch that game either because I was hosting kind of a game night thing at my place. But then yesterday I did watch. We beat the New York Knicks by 8. Şengün kind of just getting whatever he wants. Cat down there as the lone big man, and they don't have Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa. So when Cat was on the bench, it was Jericho Sims, who changed his number, by the way. He's number 20 now, not number 45 anymore. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, just
Weird.
did that, I guess. Sorry, anyone that
It's
owned the 45 Jericho Sims jerseys out there.
it's weird because did you also notice Herb Jones changed his number?
Herb Jones changed his number.
Yeah. What
What
number do
number
you
is he
think he
now?
is now?
I was about to say 1. That's literally Zion's number.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm trying to think who left their team. Is he 17 now? Do you take
Oh
Mel
my,
James's number?
no, he's number two. He went
I
from
was
five
thinking
to
2.
two.
I was thinking 2.
Who was
Yeah,
two?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think anyone was two. I think he just wasn't two, and now he's two. Yeah. Anyways, that's just another
But I
thing.
hate. Stop doing that.
It's just a random, like it has to make sense. Like the Anthony Edwards one, I'm a little bit more okay with because someone had one, and even like Keldon Johnson, he was 0. Then Chris Paul joins the team, he goes it was 3, he goes to 0. Like there's some good reasons, but if it's like I just don't like it anymore, I'm like, come on, really, you're
Yeah,
really gonna do that?
all
Um,
those jersey owners out there, sad.
I know, but I mean, I was glad to see the Rockets beat the Knicks. Pretty cool.
Yeah, take that, New York.
Yeah, who
But
needs them?
tell me about the other side of the pod. Tell me about that West Coast.
The Lakers. So we are as of today, we're 4-3. Last time we potted, I think we were 4-1. So we've lost 2 games. We have lost to the Suns, the Cavaliers, who are both good teams, and then we lost to the Pistons yesterday.
Ooh.
Um, I'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but we did beat the Raptors. After the first quarter, we were beating the Raptors 43-19,
Mhm.
which was an amazing quarter of basketball for the Lakers. And then going into halftime, we were up by like 25. And then the Raptors got pretty close. They made it pretty interesting, thanks to some people I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Um, but we won that game. But the Pistons game, man, we were just not playing with the energy. And the thing that I want to talk about most with the Lakers is that our bench is doing nothing for the starting lineup. Yesterday, I want you to guess how many bench points we had.
I'm gonna
Just
go with 12.
you're so close. We had 10.
Okay,
So I think we ended up with like
that's tough.
115 points, and that means our starting lineup scored 105 of them.
How many did Bronny James have?
Zero. He didn't play
Uh,
DNP. So coach's decision.
how many?
Yeah.
Oh wait, 10 bench points. Oh man, is
Yeah,
it even
yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah.
Lakers roster?
I know. Can you
How many
guess?
how many did Christian Wood have? Like,
He's injured still.
oh, uh, Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes was one, and then there's one other.
Only one other player.
Hmm.
Uh,
That
Cam
made
Reddish
points.
hasn't even
That
played, huh?
he played yesterday.
Uh, is he one of them?
No.
Oh, he played, but he didn't score.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
He got like 3 steals though, so that was
okay,
pretty.
that's
That was
pretty
good.
good.
Okay, okay.
Gabe Vincent? Is it Gabe Vincent?
Dude, look, this is so funny. I have to go to the game, and I just have to tell you. Okay, so it's Jackson
Maxwell
Hayes.
Lewis? Max Christie?
Nope, not even the guys that are getting that much money. It was Jackson Hayes, and you guessed it, Dalton Connect.
Oh, I forgot about Dalton Knecht. Yeah,
They
that makes
they
sense.
eat they each had 5 points. And then Gabe Vincent played 18 minutes,
He
zero
scored
points,
0 and 18. Jesus.
zero rebounds, zero assists, 1 steal. Max Christie played 4 minutes. I don't know why. 0 points, 1 rebound. And then Cam Reddish played 14 minutes, but he got 5 rebounds, and they gave him only 1 steal, but he got more like 2 or 3, but probably some deflections. He was there for defense. They needed someone to do something, and man, they were getting nothing from anybody. So yeah, and LeBron James played 40 minutes. Are you kidding? Jeez.
40 minutes on a loss to the Pistons is tough. It's
It's
it's a tough
it's
day at the
tough.
office.
Yeah, so there's a lot that has to be worked out in the Kinks. We were talking a lot about everyone was talking about I raving about the Lakers being great, and there has to be some help for this starting lineup, and I don't know where it's going to come from. Hopefully, when Christian Wood is better, Jared Vanderbilt, when they're able to join the team and play. Hopefully they'll be able to help a little bit. But right now, the Lakers, 4-3, like you said, we're still like we have a positive record right now, so
Right.
we'll keep moving along. I think we have one more game on the road, Grizzlies, and then we'll be back at home. So hopefully we can get that win against the Grizzlies tomorrow.
Your own home now. Now you don't have to share it anymore.
I know,
How does
it's
that feel?
amazing. It feels so
You
good.
think do you think the facility people just like threw out all the Clipper stuff immediately? Like they just right
Well,
to the
yeah, because it was
dumpster?
like old logos too. They're like,
Yeah.
we don't need any of this stuff, any of the banners,
Rid of
nothing
the
of that stuff.
floorboards, like don't need any of
Man,
that.
that would be crazy to like own like a part of like the
That would
court,
be
you
neat.
know? But yeah, we get those Clippers. I'm like, I don't want the Clipper. I want
Should
the
have just
Lakers
went
one.
to Staples and just hid by the dumpsters. Look every day looking for the floor.
Like for the Clippers floor. Well,
Yeah.
what is crazy, this is just gonna be an offhanded comment. But like when they Lakers moved from the Forum to Staples Center, they actually sold parts of the Forum floor to people, and there's a gas station on your way from LA to Vegas. It's kind of like it's trying to be like a Buc-ee's called Eddie's World. It's like some big place. They have like a little Lakers um trophy case, just like showing like pictures, and they have like a piece of the Forum floorboard there, or not, the floor there.
That's
So
cool.
it was pretty cool to see.
Did we
Anyways,
talked about your wall experience last time?
yeah, we did because
Okay.
I saw the Blazers and or no, I was gonna see them. That was the next day. We didn't even talk about it because we put it on Tuesday and I went to the game Wednesday.
We got to talk about that. What are we doing?
Yeah, I know. What are we doing? Okay, and then we'll get to the segment. So, let me tell you, the stadium was like when the game started was like maybe like 40% filled, 40-50% filled. It was the Trailblazers, granted. And then it filled up a little bit, like I'd say like 60%, but it's a lot of empty seats all around us. We had a whole row to ourselves, on the wall,
The wall,
um,
baby.
where they, yeah, I talked about it on the pod, but like, yeah, you weren't allowed, you can't wear, you can't wear other
Well,
teams'
I listened to our
clothing.
last pod and you were like, I'm gonna wear my Trailblazers jumper. You didn't know
So
yet
I
that you
didn't. I
couldn't.
didn't know. You're
Yeah.
right. It was the day of. I got this email saying, so to be a part of the wall at the Clippers, you cannot wear any other team's logos, not just the opponent that they're playing, any other team's logos. You can only wear Clipper stuff. If you're wearing anything else, security can like ask you to like remove it or leave the wall. And there's also no cheering for the opponents. Like it was like all of these like
You're gonna
I wish
get
I would have
escorted
known.
out.
Yeah, and then I got there and no one was in my row. I was like, I bet I could. I was low key like I was because the game got pretty close. The Blazers won by one,
Yeah.
and I remember turning to my friend and like I was like every time they made something good, I was just like, let's go, you
Hmm.
know. And the graphics there were crazy. I sent you a video,
Oh
but
yeah,
they had
the
this
the graphics were
giant like
wild.
all of like every member of the Clippers has their own giant graphic that they do only sparingly every now and then. Like Norman Powell's, I think is he like his head kind of looks like it reaches over toward you like
Yeah,
3D
yeah,
like and has his hand like I can't hear you, like let's go. And then like Ivica Zubac is like he just it kind of like does this number like just like flexes. And then James Harden does like a
yeah.
number
I like the
one.
point. Norman Powell had like a
Oh,
point, didn't he?
oh, that's what he was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then James Harden just stood like straight and just pointed straight, and I had the number one right.
Dude, I
Anyways,
imagine making the just standing in like a green screen.
dude,
Like,
all of those. My favorite is when they are like the "Come on, crowd, I can't hear
dude,
you." Like the
my
ones with the
I
Rockets is
I
so
I love
funny.
the Rockets when Jalen Green going louder.
Yeah. Well,
Like
so
do this.
and also at the Clippers into a dome. So what they do, you know how at the Toyota Center they had the guns like to shoot the t-shirt cannon like way up.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
what
yes.
Into a Dome is doing, so they have they have a giant circular digital scoreboard that goes around the
Hmm.
whole place. They have these like animations of like the players like you want a shirt and like they're pretending to like kind of throw stuff and then there is a t-shirt cannon on top that actually shoots to
Oh,
the top
into
levels.
the upper rows. Oh, nice.
Yeah. And
That's cool.
also what was pretty cool is that me and my friend we entered on like there was two there you can either go to the top level or like the level you walk in on. So we go in the level we walk in on, and from there we were able to walk to the top. So we didn't have to go out and around to an escalator or like
Okay,
stairs or anything. So like
that's
that was
cool.
pretty nice. So like we didn't have to do that.
Your camera froze for me, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, still?
Yeah, it's been frozen for I don't know, probably like 20 seconds.
Okay, that's crazy. Hold up. I'm
But
gonna
like you sound fine, so
Yeah, I paused it and then I started
there
again.
you
How
are.
about okay, weird.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the experience and I was able to get more free food because they just don't my face is just like every other white guy, I guess. So it's pretty sick. But
Take
I had a
that.
good time.
That's
I had a
awesome.
good time. Yeah.
Gonna be a part of the wall again in the future? Or are you
Well,
gonna try to test out other sections?
you know, I had a gift card for the last one. So I was able to get like a promo code and I use a gift card, so tickets were like $20. But now I can just get tickets for 30 and not have to worry about rooting for the Clippers or whatever. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
Plus, I won't be right behind the basket, which is what I was. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to more games. I found out where to park for free. So
Huge. Always
that's
huge.
that's like the biggest thing to me.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's pretty nice. Anyway, I sorry that was a weird tangent, but I didn't even
No,
talk about it at the beginning. I totally
yeah.
forgot. But
People are
it was
commenting
fun.
right now, 20 minutes of the video. They're like, he didn't even talk about the game. What the
Well,
fuck?
also what's crazy is that the Clippers got their first win in Intuit Dome yesterday.
Damn.
They kept losing at home. They lost to the Suns, they lost to the Blazers. They just kept losing. It was like, oh, you're doing the anyways, it was just it was a fun experience.
A
And
lot of Norman Powell on the big board.
dude, he was the only one. He was scored like 30 points, and James Harden was like 15. I was explaining to my friend how like salaries work and like how like the Clippers why they're not good. And he was like, that guy is paid the most, right? Norman Powell's like, "No," he's like on a vet minimum. It's like it's crazy. Or like a mid-level exception. It's
A
like not
goat.
a lot.
He's a goat.
Yeah,
That's what matters.
exactly. Anyways, shall we get into our segment?
It's segment time. It's the reason you've clicked on this episode.
Yes. So what we decided, because we were gonna do city jerseys, and I didn't want to do them yet because if you listen to the pod, you know I love city jerseys
I
and
worked
talking
really
about them.
hard on putting that document together. It
We're
took
still gonna
me
use
a
it,
long time.
and it looks great. It looks great, but the thing is, I can't see the back
I
or
mean,
the
that's
or
what I was thinking the whole time. I was looking for
I know.
pictures of
I'm
the
so
shorts
sorry.
of the back. I was like, I need these things. These aren't normal.
Yeah, it and the NBA Cup games will start in like a few weeks, so we'll talk about it once we can see the whole thing. And um, I mean, I can judge just from the front, but then I don't know if the name is above or behind above or
Yeah,
below the number, and that's the most
that's
important
like a
thing.
two-tiered thing right there. I mean, that takes you
Literally,
from a B to a D or a B or an S to a B.
it
So,
goes from A immediately to F is
right.
kind of kind of or so. So instead, Damon had a fun idea of just talking about interesting teams that we find right now, like our three
Surprising,
team,
interesting. Yeah.
surprising, interesting, just something we didn't really expect going into the season. And Damon took the West, I took the East. I requested the East, and I'll talk about why.
Yeah.
Do you want to go over your honorable mentions real quick? Because I saw you had a couple, and I have some I can throw in too.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention these teams just because when you think about surprises or disappointments or interesting teams so far, I think these two teams fit the bill. But here's what I'll tell you why I didn't pick them. Ultimately, the Warriors, my first team, they're 6-1, which made me want to pick them. Then I looked at the Warriors' schedule. The Warriors have beaten the Blazers, the Jazz, uh, the Pelicans twice, who are riddled with injuries, as we talked about at the
Mhm.
beginning. The Rockets in overtime and the Wizards. So their
I
wins are not very impressive. Like they played a very easy schedule so far,
yeah,
which is ultimately why I elected not to pick them. And then the Pelicans were the other team, and they're struggling, but it's pretty much because their whole team is injured. DeJounte
yeah,
Murray, CJ McCollum, Herb Jones. They are just they're running guys out there I've never heard of. So that's why I didn't ultimately pick them because it's the small sample size of 7 games or so that we have seen so far, I think is not going to be super telling on how the rest of the season is going to go because it has been so affected by injury.
yeah,
Um, and then I will say, I thought about the Nuggets, but we kind of did a whole Nuggets thing last pod because we had both of them in our, or we both had the Nuggets in our hot takes. So I didn't go with the Nuggets either.
got it. I saw your honorable mentions, and I had a couple. I didn't write them down initially, but I just added them. So I was gonna pick the 76ers for obvious reasons. They're 1-5 right now, but Paul George just played his first game as a Sixer yesterday, and they lost barely to the Suns, thanks to like a Kevin Durant basically buzzer beater. And they're playing without Joel Embiid and without Paul George, so they're what's to be expected right now. It's just a whole bunch of role players playing, and Gershon Yabusele looking good, Tyrese Maxey's looking good, but I mean, those aren't guys that can win games on their own. Tyrese Maxey did. The one game they won was basically all Tyrese Maxey, and then the Pacers too, because we kind of expected them to be really good, and they kind of slipped. But recently they have been playing a lot better. I saw them yesterday beat the Mavericks. And they were able to kind of hold their own against them. So I didn't ultimately pick them because it seems like they're kind of picking up and they'll kind of get back into shape. They also have been dealing with injuries, so just
Yeah,
trying to figure out their rotations. So
team has been confusing for me. Pacers.
yeah,
I don't know what they're doing.
they're getting better. I was yesterday watching like it. I could see um, adjustments being made. So that's why I did not pick them. But I say we did you rank them or you just were just like here's I just picked three surprising teams.
No, yeah, I didn't rank them.
Okay.
I do have kind of an order, but it's not like a ranking.
Okay. You want to go first?
Sure, I'll do my best. Um, yeah. We're gonna go back and forth here. We're gonna one,
Yeah.
I do one, you do one. Okay.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Here's my first team for you. My first team that I think is interesting. Not, I wouldn't classify this team as surprising in terms of their record and stuff, but there's some stats I'm gonna get into that I do think
Okay.
are kind of like, hard to wrap your brain around. And that team is the Utah Jazz. That's right. I know you wanted to hear about the Jazz. I know everyone was tuned in for the Jazz. So let me give you some
I'm
deets on
here
the
for it.
Jazz.
Please do. Please do.
We I think both had them projected as like the 14th seed. Like we didn't think this was going to be a good team, but they are 1-6. Okay. Their losses so far to the Grizzlies, Warriors, Mavs, Kings, Spurs, and Nuggets. They did beat the Bulls last night for their first win of the season, so that's huge. Let me give you some stats though that I think are cool. Points per game. They are averaging 104.9. Where do you think that ranks in the NBA?
Like third to last.
It's last. Um,
Oh, okay.
their field goal percentage as a team, 41.3. Where do you think that ranks?
My God. I'd say like five to the last.
Yeah, it's last. 3-point percentage is 30.3. Any guesses on that one?
I guess I gotta go last.
It's last.
Oh my God. Okay.
Turnovers per game, 19.1.
Oh my God. That's gotta be the most.
That's right. It's last. Yeah, it's the worst.
Oh my,
And then
19
the
is
last kind of
crazy.
stat I have for you.
Yeah.
If you had to guess their plus minus average per game in terms of like margin of victory or
Hmm.
defeat,
Yeah.
um, what do you think it is?
I, you know,
They're of course
I
1-6, so it's probably going to
right.
be negative
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they
So
lose.
so I'd say like it's probably like negative 15.
Yeah, it's negative 14.7.
Oh.
That was a great guess by you.
Oh wow. Thank you.
Um, it's
Is that the
last.
worst? It's the
It's
last. Oh
last.
my
And
God.
not only is it last, it's 5.2 points per game, higher or lower, I guess, because it's negative,
Yeah.
than the Wizards at 29. They are
Man, they're
losing by an average of five more points than the Wizards, the second worst team in the NBA.
they're buying into that Cooper Flag. God.
So I mean, this is why I wanted to bring this up is yes, they're losing. Cooper Flag, you mentioned, is probably the big reason, right? I think I made some sort of jab about Cooper Flag being perfect for Utah in the offseason. You um, this isn't how you do it, though. I know they struggled in the past with winning too much, starting off the season kind of hot, and they were like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be rebuilding. This is this is the kind of losing that your young players develop bad habits, and it's like this is ugly. Like this is looking like you're going to be rebuilding for a little longer than you want. And they're trotting the young guys out there. They're playing Bryson Sabah, they're playing Kyle Filipowski, they're playing Cody Williams. Keontae George has like the most turnovers in the league because he is handling the ball a lot. I think he has the most minutes on the team at like 33 minutes a game or something like that when I was looking. Um, so they're playing the young guys at least, and of course there's the highest. What do you think is the highest plus minus on this team?
And just for a refresher, plus minus is kind of like who when they're on the court, they are
Yes,
they're getting the
the
most
scoring
points with.
difference when they're on the court versus not. Yeah,
So the person, or you ask me who has the highest, or just
yeah.
what is the highest?
Who do you think has the highest, or what? Either guess.
I'll say John Collins.
I'll tell you this: they only have two players with a positive plus minus.
Yeah, I'll say John Collins and Larry Markkinen.
Yeah, you wish. Those guys play too many minutes, I think. Yeah, it's Drew Eubanks at 3. That's the highest.
He's
Backup
on the
center Drew
Jazz.
Eubanks and
Oh my
Patty
God,
Mills is also
he's getting minutes.
he's getting minutes. Yeah, so those are the only like old guys really playing, and then of course Laurie Marketing and John Collins, I guess, are not super young guys. But everyone else is like rookie, second year,
Yeah.
youngish player. Jordan Clarkson, I guess, still there. So they're playing the young guys, which is good. But yeah, I'm a little worried about how badly this team is losing. Um,
Okay.
They're just getting smashed. Their worst loss of the season, they lost by 41 to the Warriors. Um, so that's not great.
Already?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And like even like, the Spurs are not a great team. They lost by 18. Um, so they're just getting crushed. And like I said, I think the scary thing is developing bad habits. Your guys not developing how you want because you're going out there just playing losing basketball. It's what I was worried about the Rockets when they were running out with really bad lineups and we are just getting killed during our rebuild. Um, worried about that same thing for the Wizards, the Blazers, etc. The Pistons last year, 28 game
Yeah.
losing streak. Like those aren't things you want to happen. That's not how you guys get better.
And even like outside of the players, like I always think of the fans. Because like as a fan, I would just be mad. It's like, can you try to win at least, you know? And it's so hard to tell if they're trying or not. Like, I mean, if you're last in everything, it really doesn't seem like you are. And I don't think it's the players aren't trying. It's like I don't think everyone altogether is working together to try to win. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, kind of like that. But well, I did not expect you to talk about the Utah Jazz, and I have not watched any Utah Jazz so far this year.
And
So,
why would you? Uh,
and I appreciate the input. Is there anything else for the Utah
no,
Jazz?
that's basically all I had about them. It's just it's not good. Um,
Well, to go from technically the worst team in the league to the technically the best team in the league, I'll
okay.
talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so currently 8-0. They haven't been 8-0. I think it's tied with their franchise best ever in a
Wow.
season.
That's
Um,
wild.
yeah, eight. I mean, it's hard to go 8-0 in the beginning
I
of the
assume
season.
that's a LeBron thing, probably.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's like 20. No, not couldn't be 2016. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure, but I know if they win like the next one, then they're breaking records. So,
Right. Okay.
so let's go over who they've played real quick. So they've played the Raptors,
Okay.
Wizards, Pistons, three pretty easy teams.
Sure.
Played the Knicks, the Lakers, the Magic, and then the Bucks twice. And the first time against the Bucks, it was with Giannis and Dame Lillard. Yesterday they played. Giannis sat out the game, and it was still a very close game. They won by 2 points, but they beat
Okay.
all these teams. I'm gonna go into some of the players, some of their stats real quick, and then more of like their rankings across the NBA.
Let's hear
So
it.
Donovan Mitchell he's only averaging 23.1 points per game. You know, that
Yeah.
tells me the load is not all on his shoulders. Pretty damn good. Darius Garland, he's averaging 6.5 assists per game. Pretty good for a point guard.
Yeah.
Jared Allen, the Fro,
The fro.
has a 68.6 field goal percentage, and he's averaging 11.6 rebounds per game. I mean, for your center, you want him to be able to get those easy shots, and he's getting the rebounds. Pretty good. They're currently ranked second in total points per game behind the Celtics. So the Celtics are the only team that is averaging more points per game, but they are ranked first in total field goal percentage. What do you think that is? Total field goal percentage.
Total field goal percentage. Be 52.3%.
That's exactly right. That's
Cool.
52.3%. What the hell? Did
That's
you read
crazy.
did you read it?
I didn't read it just now. I mean, I was looking at the same probably team statistics you were looking at earlier, and I probably
Yeah.
glanced over it, but
Yeah, well, it is 52.3%, and that is the highest
you weren't
field
ready
goal
for that.
percentage.
You're like, what?
No, I was like, I thought 52. I was like, okay, point 0.5. I was like 3. I was like, that's a what? Okay.
What?
Am I sharing my screen right now? I didn't realize that. Uh,
Wait a second
which is,
here.
I mean, like your averages, that means more than half your shots are going in.
Right.
That's really good.
Yeah.
They have the fourth highest plus minus at 14 behind the Thunder, Warriors, and Celtics. That
Okay.
all makes sense. They're all really good right now.
Yeah.
The Cavaliers have the fourth highest net rating. The Cavaliers have the second highest offensive rating behind the Celtics. And here's what really that sets them apart is their defense. So the Cavaliers have a defensive rating of 108.3, which is fifth in the NBA. but they're a second in steals per game with 9.9. They're averaging about 10 steals per game. Crazy.
Yeah,
And they also have the highest assist to turnover ratio with 2.28. So that means every time they turn the ball over, they have at least 2.8 assists,
right.
which is which is the best. It's in best in the league. So there's a couple of reasons why the Cavaliers are doing so well. Also, everyone's healthy. I know Max Strus is still out. But everyone's kind of stepping up. I think Karis LeVert is also out right now, but Evan Mobley has been playing very well. It seems like Kenny Atkinson has done a very good job of coaching this team. You had a lot of questions going in because they didn't really make any changes, but turns out coaching plays a big role. And probably right now front runner for Coach of the Year. I think we might have mentioned that last time, but still, I still see that for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's what I got so far.
No, yeah, I agree with all that. I think the usage of Mobley has been really good. And yeah, I mean, going 8-0 isn't easy in any scenario, and I don't think the Cavs have even necessarily had like an easy schedule. They've had
Exactly. Yeah.
some good teams on there, so
Hmm.
it's really impressive. We had I think we both had the Pacers, Magic, Cavs, 5, 6, 7 in that order in terms of seeding.
Yeah.
And we kind of were like, yeah, they're kind of all three in the same range. They all had the same projected over under in terms of win total. And we had the Cavs at 7, and that's not looking great, you know. And I even said I love Kitty Atkinson, and this is why. This is why I love Kitty Atkinson, baby.
It's looking good.
Looking good so far over there. Yeah, Pacers, they've had their struggles early on. Magic without Paolo. I mean, that's you can't
Yeah.
predict that. They looked really good beforehand, so I'm not
Yeah.
too about that one. But
Yeah. You want a snake or you want to take the next one?
I'll take the next one. I'll take
All
it
right. Tell me
because
tell me about it.
you went high in the East, so let me go high in the West. Let me talk
Let's
about the
do it.
Thunder. Let's talk about
Okay.
the
There we
Thunder.
go. There we go.
Um,
Do it.
and I talked about them in my hot take section. I didn't talk about them that much. I just said they were going to fly through the West basically in the playoffs. But I'm kind of actually this is going to be very similar to your segment. I'm going to go talk about the Thunder and a lot of defense here. But they're 7-0, of course, the other undefeated team along with the Cavs. Uh, I don't know why I wrote this. I wrote they won 102 to 87 against the Thunder. That was against the Nuggets. They are the Thunder. Um, but
Sorry.
yeah, they have beaten this season so far the Nuggets, the Bulls, Hawks, Spurs, Blazers, Clippers, Magic. So not a great series of teams. A couple of teams we expect to be bad there. Uh, in terms of their offensive metrics, they're pretty much mid-pack, somewhere between 10, 15, and field goal percentage, three-point percentage, etc. For most of those things. But when you flip to the other side of the ball, this is what gets me for them and what I think makes them really interesting season wide and then also in the playoffs. It's going to be their defense. 13.1 steals per game. That's most. You said it already. You said the Cavs are second most, the Thunder are the most.
No.
Um, 7.4 blocks per game. Where do you think that ranks in the National Basketball Association?
Second?
Yeah, it's going to be first. It's going to be the
Wow.
most.
Yeah, every time you
Um,
ask that, I'm just gonna it's either last or first.
It's last or first, right? Yeah. And then their plus minus, of course, is first, positive 17.4 as a team. So they're just blowing teams out, which is great to see. And then, honestly, the one of the more impressive stats is the defensive rating. Do you know what their defensive rating is? Do you remember seeing it when you scrolled upon the Cavs defensive rating?
I think so. So just say it.
93.8.
I actually didn't remember that. That's crazy. Less than
93.8.
100.
Less than 100. And not only is it less than 100, it is first, of course, best defensive rating. It is 8.3 points lower than the Warriors, who have the second best defensive rating, which is insane. The defense they're playing is absurd. Of course, leading in steals and blocks to do that. I didn't do this. I kind of wish I did. I should have gone back and found the last time a defensive rating was this low because, the NBA, as we advance, teams score more and more points.
Yeah.
So it's probably been like, if I had to guess, it's probably been like a decade or something since a team had a defensive rating like this.
I think I was watching or listening to something where there was like an adjusted defensive rating, and apparently the Thunder have the greatest defense of all time right now, like technically with
Yeah,
the adjusted because yeah,
adjusted
teams
for
never always average 92 points or
right.
whatever. But I mean, we'll see if it's sustainable. That's my biggest question. But I mean, it is incredible to see that, especially just adding. Technically, Hardenstein hasn't played, so they just really added Alex Caruso.
Yeah,
And
they're playing guys. You know who AJ Mitchell is?
no,
Well, he's
no.
played all 7 games for him. So they
I
just
wrote.
got guys in there, guys you
I
never heard of.
watched. Yeah, I watched the first game against the Nuggets. That's the only one I really watched, and I did see people I never heard of, and I was like, I thought we were past this, guys.
Uh,
Come on, Thunder. And then they're like really good. I'm like, what?
yeah,
Okay.
they just keep finding these guys, scrounging them up from nowhere. I did want to point out Lou Dort, 11.1 points per game, shooting 49.1%, and the 3-point percent has carried 48.4. He is absolutely lights out from three this
Oh,
year.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
Wow.
last year it was like, is this the real him? So
Yeah.
far, it is the real him. And of course, I mean, we can talk about Shea. We know he's going to be an MVP candidate. Chet, his defense has been electric. He's a big part of this. He's probably in the DPOY running for sure right now with how he's been playing, because he's been just on fire. I mean, he made Jokic kind of look whatever the first game of the season. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's just good team ball over there, good coaching, and yeah, so it's not only that they're 7-0, it's the how they're just like absolutely dominating everybody. Has been interesting to watch so far this season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big believer that
I'm
defense
a
wins championships.
believer.
Oh, I'm Survivor. That's what I was thinking. I'm a survivor. Um, but no, I mean, defense at the end of the day is really what wins championships. If the other team can't score, you got it.
Yep.
That's crazy. Thank you for sharing all that. Um, now I'm gonna go to the bottom of the East type thing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna talk about what the team that I feel like everyone's talking about right now, and that
Yeah.
is of course the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
expected this team to
yeah,
make an appearance here.
it had to. So Milwaukee Bucks right now are 1-6.
Yeah, that's really bad.
It's really bad because especially to listen to their schedule. This is what it's been. So it was the Cavaliers twice. I mean, good team. Bulls should win that game. Nets, you should win that game. They got blown out.
Do you have the
There's
Nets on
not
your list?
no.
The Nets are 4-4. I just gotta throw that out there.
No, I know. Like it's
I don't know
crazy.
what's going on in Brooklyn.
What is happening? Celtics, they obviously they're a good team. Grizzlies, they so like half and half. Like seems like what Grizzlies are what like 4-4 right now. Yeah, so
Yeah.
definitely a game the Bucks should have won. And then the only game they won is against the 76ers without Embiid and Paul George. So like from what
Was
I've
that
seen,
the first game of the season?
that was the first game of the season.
Now they're 6 losses in a row.
Yeah,
Will the
it
Bucks
is.
break the Piston streak this year?
It is absolutely insane. And I mean, like, it's hard to point fingers or like what is exactly wrong. To me, it's just they don't have an identity. Like every year, it seems like they were like defense. We're a defensive team. Then they got Damian Lillard, and there was there's a little flux. You got rid of Drew Holiday, who was obviously like one of the best perimeter defenders the NBA has ever seen. Get Damian Lillard, your offense is great, but then you get no defense. So I want to go over a little bit like how the Stars are doing. Let's see if it's the Stars problem, right? So Giannis, he's averaging 31 points per game and 12.3 rebounds per game. Pretty good.
Sounds like Giannis numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like Giannis numbers. His also field goal percentage is like 60%,
Yeah.
65%. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
really high. Damian Lillard, maybe he's a problem. Well, he's averaging 27.6 points per game, 6.7 assists, and he's 39.1% from three. So what's the issue? Well, let me tell you, who else is on this team? Who else is doing anything?
Well,
And let me
I
tell
can tell
you,
you who has the most post touches in the NBA.
who is it?
It's Bobby Portis.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I would have thought.
That's a
No,
problem.
no, that's the problem. No, exactly. That's not something you want. And I mean, we talked about the offseason. We liked what they did. They added Taurean Prince, Gary Trent Jr. Cool. But their bench is not supporting them. Same problem with the Lakers. are having, the Bucks are having. They're very top heavy. And then yesterday, even Giannis sat out. Damian Lillard, he went off. He scored like 36 points or something. Still wasn't enough. And like maybe the Bucks are maybe they can be they'll at least be really good on defense, right? Well, they're 20 ranked 22nd right now in the league. It's like, okay, well, you got Giannis and Dame. Their offense must at least be like top 10. They're 20th right now. And they're 24th right now in plus minus. So they're
Yeah.
just like toward the bottom, and they're 19th in total points per game. And I mean, you want to point fingers at the coaching, you want to point fingers at the
Oh, everyone wants to
scheming.
point fingers at Doc, I'm sure. It's the
Yeah,
Doc Rivers experience.
it's so interesting to see. This is not what we expected at all. I mean, if you told me the Bucks were like 3-4, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. You lose a couple games here and there, that's fine. But literally to be
Yeah.
1-6 and losing six in a row, I mean, all of these games have really felt like, okay, this one they're gonna win. Oh, okay, now this one, no. And I mean, they got blown out by the Nets, and everyone was healthy. That's what's like the
Well,
craziest.
not everyone. They are still missing Chris Middleton after he lost his feet in the offseason.
I did forget about that, but you know what? They should be able to stay a little bit afloat without Chris Middleton. But um, it does hurt them. I guess it's hurting them more than we expected. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. We'll see what they do.
Yeah. I mean, you like the additions of what is it, Delon Wright, Torian Prince, but
Yeah.
it's just not enough.
Mm-mm.
They still got enough going on in this team. There's, I mean, we've talked about the Rockets and like Jeff Green not playing, Jayshawn Tate not playing. I'm sure the Bucks would love to have these guys that literally aren't even making the cut on the Rockets right now. So they're just way too thin, not getting enough from the outlying pieces. Yeah,
I want you to guess behind Damian Lillard's 36 points yesterday. Who were there was two people tied for 21 points that were the highest scores. Do you
Giannis.
want Giannis did not play.
Okay, that's
So
good to know.
besides Giannis,
Oh, Bobby P.
Bobby P is one. Who's the other one?
Yeah. Brooke.
Great guess. No, AJ Green.
I wouldn't have guessed AJ. He would have been a couple guesses down. I was going Pat Connaughton next, and I was gonna say like some dumb shit like uh I was about to say PJ Tucker. He's literally not on that team.
He's like nowhere right now,
He's
actually.
he yeah, I don't know.
He's in
He's
the
some
ether. Yeah, so AJ Green, who is like a sophomore, right? He's like a second year
a
player.
sophomore is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. He came out of nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so yeah, he's your second scorer, and at least he's scoring off the bench. But like everyone else is like doing really nothing. Um,
Yeah, they're doing cardio out there. Some
yeah.
credit.
So I just saw that. I just wanted to
Some
kind of
conditioning.
add that in there, and then I mean, Cleveland's also really top heavy, but I mean, everyone at least are doing stuff,
Cleveland.
and they're
The
playing really good defense.
Flames.
All right, tell me about your third team.
I'll tell you about my third team. Um, see, my thing is pretty interesting. So far for me, it's the 6-1 Phoenix Suns. This is the
Oh,
third team
okay,
I wanted to bring to the table today.
okay,
Here's what's happened for them so far. They have beaten the Clippers, Mavericks, Lakers, Clippers again, the Blazers, and then they just beat the 76ers last night by 2 with the return of Paul George. And then their one loss in the season, of course, is also to the Lakers. They played the Lakers twice, so
yeah,
1-1 against them. Again, on offense, like the Thunder, they're between about 7th and 15th in most of those field goals, three percentage, assist, rebounds, etc. I want to point out some individuals, though, that I think have been responsible for a lot of the success on this team. Let's talk about Kevin Durant. He's old, but he's averaging 27 points a game, and he is shooting. What do you think Kevin Durant's shooting in the field?
53%.
55. Yeah, he is crazy. What do you think he's shooting from three?
39.5.
44. Kevin Durant shooting 44% from three. That's going to be a hard team to stop if Kevin Durant is I think it's like 50, 40, 80. He's not quite there
Yeah, I was
from
gonna ask you 60,
the
40,
line.
90. Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
We're kind of also getting a resurgence right now from Bradley Beal. Okay. 17 points a game, 51% from the field, and 44% from three for him. So that's nice to see.
Are you telling me he's starting for the Suns?
He's starting.
Oh.
Yeah, him, Booker, Tyus Jones, Kevin Durant, Nurkic. Nurkic looks awful, by the way. I don't feel
Nurkic
bad
looks,
about the F tier center
yeah,
because
that's that one we're
man, he
good.
looks bad.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed from what I've
Every time I
seen.
watch
Yeah.
them, I'm like, this guy, what is he doing out there? They would love to have like a Derek Lively running around out there or something.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then the last individual I wanted to point out isn't Devin Booker. He's been fine, but Royce O'Neal, who was only averaging 10 points, but of course, Royce O'Neal playing good defense,
Hmm.
spacing the floor, doing the Lord's work out there. 50% from the field. What do you think Royce O'Neal shooting from three this season?
Let's go crazy. 48%.
47. Yeah, it's
Wow.
absurd.
That is crazy.
He's going sicko mode. And he is 50, 40, 90 because he's 100% from the line. Hasn't missed a free throw all season. So
Yo, Royce O'Neal, let's
he's close to
go.
50, 50, 100, which is
Royce
absurd.
O'Neal, this is for you.
Uh, so yeah,
Wow.
just a couple big individual performances. The additions of Tyus Jones has looked good. Um, who else did they get?
Grayson Allen
Monty
looks good.
Morris, right? Didn't they? Isn't he
Monte
come off the
Morris is
bench
on
for
the
them?
Suns.
Yeah,
That's
Grayson
correct.
Allen is not as good as last season, but he has been fine so far. They just look a lot more cohesive than last year, and I don't know if that was from the additions, if it's from having a real point guard, if it's from just more time together, but they look good. And the reason I also wanted to bring this up is because some of these wins, their wins over the Clippers, they won by 3 and 6. Their win over the 76ers was by 2. The one over the Lakers was by 4. A lot of these ones are very close. So
Yeah.
I wonder, could this have been instead of a 6-1 team, a 2-5 team if these games went the other way and that team clutched out at the end, and if the Suns are good enough to kind of keep this kind of season going for the long term. And like I mentioned, a lot of those stats being somewhere in the middle. Um, their identity to me feels more like a spacing team, a shooting team, an offensive team rather than a defensive team. So I feel like for the success they want to have, they're going to have to get those numbers up, that efficiency up. More says less turnovers. Their rebounding is actually like one of the better things. So like fourth in rebounding or something, second in rebounding when I was looking.
Nice.
So Yusuf Nurkic is doing something. He's getting the ball at least. But aside from that, like I said, everything is somewhere in the middle. So I feel like like I said, if they want to have that long-term season success, postseason success in the playoffs, they're going to need to get, I think, higher in the offensive metrics. So I don't think they have the personnel to be a great defensive team like the Thunder, like I just mentioned. So I'm interested to see if that can continue because they do have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, in close clutch games. This is a good set of guys to have, but um, you probably would feel better about it if you see them have 10-point victories, 12-point victories instead of all these really, really close games. Because usually that
Yeah.
means there's some luck in the record that some of these games could have went the other way, and if they want to do better, they're going to have to run their offense better, and that might just come with the season, with kind of getting even more familiar with each other.
Yeah, I also you mentioned some of the games they barely won. I do want to mention that against the Clippers and against the 76ers, they were behind most of the game. And then at the end, their fourth quarter, they turned it around and won. And the first game, or the game against the Lakers that they lost, they were in the lead most of the time, but the Lakers were like on runs and runs, but they were able to stop them. So I think that shows like the resilience behind it too. Like they weren't losing, they weren't winning the entire game, you know? They kind of came back to win. So yeah, so the Suns are playing really well, really good right now.
Yeah,
All right. Ready
Phoenix, this is for you.
ready for my my
I'm
team?
ready. Last one. This better be really interesting.
Dude, you're gonna love it. Of course, I want to talk about the Toronto Raptors.
Okay, okay,
Come
okay.
on, come on. I was texting you about I've watched two Raptors games in a row, three technically,
Sorry
just
about
because
that.
they're you'd think that. You'd think that. So right now the Toronto Raptors are 2-6.
Okay.
Not a great record right now.
Not a great record for sure.
But you know who they're missing? They're missing Scotty Barnes,
Oh, that guy's pretty good.
Emmanuel quickly,
He's good too.
Bruce Brown,
Brucey
and then of
B.
course the GOAT, Kelly Olynyk. So
Kelly.
four guys that are definitely in your rotation are not playing basketball right now for you. And they are able to keep games very close and very interesting. And that's what really blew me away. Like when I was watching them against the Lakers and they were
Unlike
first
the
quarter,
Jazz.
unlike the Jazz. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about is how they should be like this is the record, it's not surprising, but they're playing really well and these games are
Hmm.
really close. So the two games they won are the 76ers and Kings. 76ers again without Embiid and Paul George, so
Yeah.
that is what it is. They beat the Kings, which was they were winning most of the game, and then they have De'Aaron Fox and they have DeMar DeRozan on the Kings, and they are usually clutch players of the year, like finalists. They were making some clutch shots. I was texting you. I was like, DeRozan deserves clutch because he made like two threes in a row, and he would never make a three unless there was like less than a minute left
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
game. So he kept it close, but eventually the Raptors were able to win, mostly thanks to these two guys I'm going to mention in a little bit. They were blown out by the Cavaliers and the Timberwolves, so that is what it is. They were blown out, but they barely lost to the Nuggets twice, once in overtime, which we talked about last time, and then they barely lost to the Hornets and the Lakers. So, Raptors fought back against the Lakers, almost came back to get the lead. Same as the Hornets as well. But their offensive rating is 12th in the league right now, which is pretty crazy considering their best players are not playing right now. Defensive rating is 29th. So, there you go. Yeah, that's not really that good right now. But there's two players that I wanted to talk about. And they are, of course, RJ Barrett and F tier Grady Dick.
Oh, yes.
So this is my apology episode to Grady Dick. I'll get
He
to him in
runs
a
around
second.
out there and doesn't do anything. He
I
famously said on those
Look,
podcasts.
I know, you can quote me, and that's okay. So I'll talk about RJ Barrett real quick because most people know him first. So he is averaging 20. I had to update the numbers because of the game yesterday. So he's averaging 26.2 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 7.8 assists. That's so that he's getting career highs in points, rebounds, and assists, and his assists are like twice as much as they were. So really digging into that part of his game. 44.4% from the field, 37.8% from three, and then 70% free throws. Got to work on that,
Yeah,
but it is what it is. But because right now Emmanuel Quickly is not playing, Scotty Barnes, he's really like the main ball handler, and he's doing a pretty good job of it considering, and he's distributing the basketball, which you can see by his assist numbers. And when it comes down to like the end of the game, that's the player they go to is RJ Barrett. Well, I asked, okay, so if RJ Barrett, you can't pass to him. Who's the next guy you want to pass to? I guess Grady Dick. I wasn't even what I was gonna say, but it's Grady Dick. Right now, he's averaging 21.6 points, 2.6 rebounds, 2.3 assists. Career highs because he didn't really play that much last year. Um, he's flirting with the 50-40-90 though.
oh wow.
He's 47.3% from the field, 38.3% from three, and then he's 92.9% free throw percentage. He's playing a lot of great defense, getting a lot like poking a lot of balls, getting the passing lanes. Doesn't show up
Yeah,
in the box score. They don't count as steals. But I noticed that a lot. He was kind of reaching around, popping the ball out a lot against the Lakers and against the Nuggets and things of that sort. Also, he made a career high against the Lakers, 31 points. Not easy to do. And he's also the Raptors' highest scorer so far with 173 points. So, made a lot of clutch shots. He's sinking threes. This is my apology to Grady Dick. So, I'm glad he's playing really good basketball. Honestly,
won't
it's
be in the
it's
F
nice to
tier
see
next
it.
year, Grady.
No,
You'll be out of there.
absolutely not. So they have the RJ and Grady have the highest win share percentage right now with 0.4. It's not high, but it counts. So they're doing something right. Right now the Raptors are fourth in the league in total points per game. Not bad. 23rd in plus minus. Ew. But
Yeah.
this is what's kind of fun is they're ranked fourth in pace. So they're a pretty
Okay.
fast team. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I've been watching them. They're fun to watch. They're playing the Clippers Saturday. I really want to go, but I have like two things already planned, so I'm probably not going to be able to see them.
Only time they'll be in
I
LA.
know. Well, they'll be. Oh, I think they're playing the
Oh
Lakers
yeah, I guess there's two teams in
Friday,
LA.
and they're playing the Clippers Saturday, and I
That's
can't
usually
make.
how they do it. They just knock it out.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate. It's okay though. I'll keep watching them. But they're a team I will be watching just because. And I mean, I'm just imagining when Scotty Barnes and IQ get back, and Bruce Brown will help them with the defense, and then probably Olynyk is a good, solid basketball player, be able to help out too. So excited to kind of see what they do, considering I didn't expect too much out of them. So.
Yeah, I like this since RJ got traded to the Raptors. I feel like his career is taking quite the turn in a positive direction, which is nice to
Yeah,
see.
and it's just playing for your whatever
Playing
Canadians
for
playing
your
in
country.
Canada. Yeah,
Yeah.
playing for your country. It's crazy to see.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, and you mentioned I think both the Kings and Wolves, who I considered for my list. I just need to watch them more. I'm
Yeah.
still figuring them out, like with the trade, the DeRozan signing to the Kings and the Randall for Cat thing. Those teams are kind of like I haven't seen enough to be like this is what I'm seeing because it's so new. Um,
Yeah, they're in a weird flux. Like seen some King stuff. And yeah, they're just trying to figure out how to, they barely beat the Heat yesterday thanks to Sabonis with that
that
tip
game
in.
winner was awesome. It was awesome.
Crazy. Um, and then the Timberwolves, same thing. Like, they're blowing out some teams. Other games are really close. Rob Dillingham got his first minutes yesterday.
Finally,
Finally. I mean, I was texting you, why isn't he playing? They're playing Joe Ingles. I'm like, I want to see some Rob Dillingham.
yeah,
And he
Mike
looks pretty
Conley
good.
hasn't been great, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's what happens when you get older. But yeah, I agree. I wouldn't have picked them either for the West because they're just so right now, like in the middle. Like they're not surprising. Like it's not like they're not undefeated. That would have been like, oh, we should probably talk about
Yeah.
that. Um, but yeah, I like your list a lot. Didn't talk about the Lakers.
I
I get
like your
it.
teams. Oh, you talked about the Lakers.
I know. You knew I was gonna do it anyways. So
Let me talk about the Lakers some more. What is this,
you
ESPN?
love talking about
What are you,
Lakers.
what are
Come
you,
on.
what
You
are we doing
always
here?
talk about the Lakers. Lakers and Knicks, that's all we talk about on this
Yeah.
podcast. So
Hey,
anything else.
how about the Rams on Sunday, huh? Just
Mm.
talking about like all the Dodgers won the World Series. Ooh.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about well, during the Clippers game, the most applause I heard and like the loudest the crowd got was when the Dodgers won the World Series. Like people were watching on their phones, not even watching the game. Um, man, I love the Clippers. It's so funny. Oh man.
Everyone goes
Uh
there because they don't have the money to go somewhere else.
Literally, I see the Clippers fans. I'm like, how did that happen? How did you? I'm like, how did you become a Clippers fan? I would love to just have it. Next time I go, I should ask them straight up, like, just ask people around me, how did you become Clippers fans? And not even like
Dude,
a
when are we
malice,
gonna
but
see the
like,
Afro guy? The legend.
dude. So this is what's crazy. So Rob, who we play with. Shout out Rob,
Yeah.
games with sometimes. Yeah, yeah. So he has a friend I met when he was in town who just moved here from San Antonio to LA. He was at the game yesterday, Spurs versus Clippers, and he posted a clip on his story, and he was sitting right behind the boing yoing 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 guy. Literally, I saw it in his
Yes.
story, and
Yes, he
it was,
lives.
he's still there. He's still there. He was right behind like the hoop, and there he like Wimby was shooting a free throw, and the guy was like boing,
Uh,
and like he's like trying to get around, take a video around him. I was like, he's still there, man. So funny.
is that guy?
Uh,
That guy should have ended up on our logo.
I know it's okay. We'll keep we'll move the logo. I was thinking about it. Like we'll change the logo every now and then. We'll have to update it.
Yeah, keep it fresh.
Yeah, we got to take a picture with him so we can. I have to have a picture of us with somebody. Gotta go back to summer league. That's what we got to do.
That's true. That'll be fun. We can go see Cooper Flag and Ace Bailey. You're like, I don't know who
Yeah,
that is. Uh,
I've heard the names. That's about it. Oh, all right. Well, we made it to the end.
it's 11:50. It's been a long day for me.
I know it has been. What you deserve a lot of rest. But just wanted to say thank you again for listening. If y'all made it this far, we really appreciate it. We're gonna
Thank
keep talking
God, I
about
think one
the
person listened to our last episode. It might have been me. So I don't
I
know.
shared it. The one thing I shared on the my story was listen to this fucking podcast. Listen to the fucking
Is that what
podcast.
you said?
And people loved it, like they liked it, but I guess they didn't listen. What a bunch of fake,
Liars!
what a
You're a
bunch of
liar
fake
and a
people.
slave.
Hey, Macbeth quote. Come on. So yeah, thanks again for listening. This was a lot of fun. We'll see what we talk about next week. And take your
Because
shot.
I
Take a
guess
shot.
we probably won't see the jerseys. Huh? Well,
Yeah.
we'll come up with something. We gotta make our panic meter soon.
Yeah.
Um,
Take your shot.
like please end it all.
Please take the shot. Take the shot. Please,
I
please,
haven't even been
please.
close lately, man.
Dude, you gotta practice. You're not practicing.
That
Huh?
wasn't actually that bad.
Yeah. Pretty good. But again, thank you all for listening. We appreciate it. We'll catch y'all next week on Two-Man Game with Damon and Dom.
Uh, 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 oh, bucket.